Long before the great cities and towering structures we know today, our ancestors roamed a very different world. It was a world of immense challenges, filled with powerful predators and unpredictable seasons. To survive, these early humans needed something more than just strength. They needed an idea. And that idea, born millions of years ago, was to create a tool. It was a revolutionary moment in our story. This simple act of shaping a stone to fit a purpose was the very first spark of technology. It was the beginning of a long journey, a journey of innovation that has led us all the way to the present day. These first tools were not merely objects, they were keys to a new way of living. Imagine an early human, perhaps a Homo habilis or handy man, walking across the vast African savanna. They see a rock, but they do not just see a rock, they see potential. With great focus, they strike one stone against another. Flakes fly off, and slowly, a sharp edge begins to form. This simple, yet brilliant process created the first choppers and hand axes. These tools were extensions of the human hand, but far stronger and sharper than any fingernail. They allowed our ancestors to interact with their environment in entirely new ways. They could now do things that were previously impossible, opening up a world of new possibilities for food, shelter, and defense against the dangers that surrounded them. The purpose of these early tools was beautifully simple: survival. A sharp-edged stone could be used to butcher a large animal, scraping meat from the bone and cracking them open to get to the nutritious marrow inside. This provided a vital source of protein and fat, which fueled the growth of their brains. A sturdy hand axe could be used to dig for edible roots and tubers, or to strip bark from trees. It was a multi-purpose implement, really the Swiss Army knife of its day. Every tool was a solution to a problem, a testament to the growing intelligence and resourcefulness of our ancient relatives. It was the dawn of a new era, one defined not by what nature provided, but by what we could create. This leap in thinking was truly extraordinary. Before tools, early humans were largely at the mercy of their environment. They had to take what they could find. But with the advent of toolmaking, they became active shapers of their own destiny. They were no longer just another animal in the food chain, they were becoming something new. They were problem solvers. This fundamental shift set our lineage on a unique evolutionary path. The ability to envision a tool, to plan the steps to create it, and then to use it effectively, laid the groundwork for all the complex technologies that would follow, from the wheel to the microchip. It all began here, with a simple stone held in a hopeful hand. The primary material for our earliest inventors was, of course, stone. But not just any stone would do. Early toolmakers were remarkable geologists. They learned to identify the best types of rock, like flint or obsidian. These materials were chosen because they fracture in a predictable way, a property known as conchoidal fracturing. This allows for the creation of incredibly sharp edges, sharper even than a modern surgical scalpel. The process, known as knapping, required immense skill. A craftsman would use a hammerstone, often a hard, rounded river cobble, to strike the flint core with precise force and at the perfect angle. Each blow was deliberate, carefully planned to shear off a flake and shape the tool. Over thousands of generations, these techniques became more and more refined. The simple choppers of the Oldowan period gave way to the beautifully symmetrical hand axes of the Acheulean. Later, the Mousterian tool culture, associated with Neanderthals, introduced the Levallois technique. This was a significant advance. It involved preparing a coarse stone in a specific way before striking off a single large flake of a predetermined size and shape. This was like creating a template, allowing for more efficient and consistent production of points and scrapers. This demonstrates a high level of foresight and abstract thinking, as the final tool had to be visualized within the raw stone before the work even began. But stone was not the only material in their toolkit. As skills developed, our ancestors turned to other resources. Bone, antler, and ivory proved to be incredibly useful. These materials were tough yet workable. They could be shaped into fine, sharp points for awls, used to punch holes in animal hides for clothing. They were carved into barbed harpoons for fishing, a crucial innovation that opened up rivers and coastlines as new food sources. Needles made from bone, some with tiny drilled eyes, show that our ancestors were sewing fitted clothing, a vital adaptation for surviving the cold climates of the Ice Age. Each material had its own unique properties, and our ancestors learned to master them all. Wood was almost certainly one of the first and most widely used materials, though it rarely survives in the archaeological record. we can infer its importance from the tools that do remain. Stone axe heads needed wooden handles to be used effectively. Sharp stone points were hafted onto wooden shafts to create deadly spears, revolutionizing hunting. These composite tools, made from more than one material, represent another major cognitive leap. They required planning, an understanding of how different materials work together, and the use of binders like animal sinew or tree resin. The crafting of these tools was a slow, patient art, passed down through generations, each one adding a small improvement to the last. The invention of tools fundamentally changed the daily lives of our ancestors. Securing food became a more reliable and successful endeavor. With stone choppers and scrapers, early humans could efficiently process the carcasses of large animals, gaining access to a rich source of calories that was previously out of reach. This wasn't just about scavenging. The development of spears, tipped with sharpened stone or bone points, turned our ancestors into formidable hunters. They could now hunt from a safer distance, reducing the risk of injury from a cornered animal. This shift from scavenger to hunter was a pivotal moment, providing a more stable food supply and fueling the expansion of human populations across the globe. Beyond hunting and butchery, tools transformed the home. Wood-cutting axes allowed for the clearing of land and the gathering of firewood, providing warmth and protection from predators. Fire itself could be more easily managed and started using tools. Furthermore, tools were essential for building shelters. By cutting branches and using sharpened stakes, early humans could construct simple huts and windbreaks. These structures offered protection from the elements, creating a safer space for the young and old. The ability to modify one's immediate surroundings to create a home was a profound change. It provided a stable base from which to explore, hunt, and raise the next generation in greater security. The impact on social life was equally significant. The creation of better clothing from animal hides, made possible by scrapers, awls, and needles, was critical for survival, especially as humans migrated into colder climates. Staying warm meant a lower expenditure of energy and a better chance of surviving harsh winters. This allowed groups to remain in one area for longer periods, fostering stronger community bonds. The act of tool-making itself may have become a social activity, with experienced elders teaching the young. The sharing of knowledge and the cooperation required for large-scale hunts strengthened the social fabric of these early communities, laying the foundation for complex societies. Ultimately, these tools did more than just help our ancestors survive. They allowed them to thrive and expand. With a reliable food source, better shelter, and effective clothing, human populations grew. Armed with this new technology, they began an epic journey out of Africa, spreading across Asia, Europe, and eventually to every corner of the planet. Each new environment presented new challenges, which were met with new tool innovations. From the harpoons of coastal fishers to the fine blades of mammoth hunters, the toolkit adapted. Tools were the passport that allowed humanity to conquer the globe, proving that ingenuity is our species' greatest survival strategy. The story of Stone Age tools is not just a tale of ancient history. It is a reflection of the very skills that define us today. At the heart of toolmaking is creativity and problem-solving. An early human looked at a round stone and envisioned a sharp blade. They faced a problem, how to get meat from a tough hide, and devised a solution. This process of identifying a need, imagining a solution, and experimenting to create it is the essence of innovation. It is the same creative spark that drives a modern engineer to design a bridge, a software developer to write a new app, or a scientist to find a cure for a disease. The scale is different, but the fundamental cognitive process is the same. Furthermore, making and using tools effectively often required teamwork. Imagine a group of early humans hunting a giant mammoth. This was not a task for one person. It required coordination, communication, and a shared plan. Some would need to drive the animal, while others, armed with spears, would wait in ambush. Everyone had a role to play. This collaborative spirit is just as vital in the modern world. Whether it is a team of colleagues working on a project, a community organizing an event, or nations cooperating to solve global challenges like climate change, our success still depends on our ability to work together towards a common goal. The transmission of knowledge was also crucial. An experienced toolmaker would not have written a manual. Instead, they would have shown a younger member of the group, step by step, how to select the right stone, and how to strike it correctly. This hands-on learning, this mentorship, ensured that vital skills were not lost. It built a chain of knowledge stretching across countless generations. Today, we call this education and training. The master craftsman teaching an apprentice, the university professor lecturing students, the parent showing a child how to tie their shoes, all are echoes of this ancient practice of passing wisdom to the next generation to ensure our collective progress. By looking back at the Stone Age, we are reminded of our incredible capacity for resilience and adaptation. Our ancestors faced a world far more dangerous than our own, with far fewer resources. Yet, with their minds in their hands, they not only survived but flourished. Their story teaches us that our ability to innovate, to cooperate, and to learn from one another is our most powerful tool of all. In a world of complex challenges, the timeless lessons from our earliest innovators can inspire us. They show us that no problem is too big to overcome when we apply our creativity, work together, and build upon the knowledge of those who came before us.